All right, we're underway. We got a long journey ahead. That's Oakland right behind me. You'll see why that's relevant here pretty soon. But we got a long journey ahead, and I'm in a little bit of a time crunch here. So get this. I'll let this go down. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I gotta get things set up and get moving. It's gonna be a long day. All right, we just touched off on the East Bay here. This is Oakland to my right. We're pointed dead west, and we have two goals in mind for today. The first goal is we're gonna try to go all the way across the San Francisco Bay solo on my kayak. And then the second goal is I want to catch fish. If you just happen to turn on this video because you thought this is some crazy guy kayaking across San Francisco Bay, well, you might kind of be right, but also there's a fishing channel. Most of my videos, or all of my videos, are revolving around fishing. So not only do I want to complete this like journey across the bay, I also want to catch at least one fish while I'm at it. Well, first things first, definitely not an easy task. I wouldn't recommend it unless you really know what you're doing. The first thing being is we're racing against the tides. So right now we have an outgoing tide, and then later on in the morning we're gonna have an incoming tide. So I'm gonna kind of ride the tides both ways. And the reason for that is the San Francisco Bay is very tidal. So if we were to fight against the tide going either direction, it's really gonna, I mean, we'd still be able to move, but at a much slower rate. It'd take us much longer, and I don't know, might not even be possible from kayak. So I planned this day like way in advance because I knew that today we had good tides, and then also it had to coincide with a good weather day. So as you can tell, it's not sunny, but the main thing we're worried about is wind when it comes to weather inside San Francisco Bay. No swell in here, but wind can pick up, and it can pick up in a hurry. So today we're scheduled for a very calm morning to mid-afternoon. Might get a little breezy towards the end, but hopefully by that time we're almost on our way back in here. So anyways, yeah, a lot going on. Let me turn you around here. That over there, it's kind of hard to see. It's a little foggy this morning, but that's San Francisco. Maybe more towards that area actually. Honestly, I wanted to get here a little earlier so I wouldn't have to be so crunched on time, but it is what it is. We got to get across the bay now while we still have the tide going with us. So anyways, that's the plan. Get across there. I don't know if we're gonna do too much fishing on the way there, but maybe we'll do a little bit on that side of the bay, and then definitely gonna fish on the way back here. So anyways, a lot in store for today. It's gonna be a long day out here. Gonna tour the full San Francisco Bay. Follow me along. We'll see what we see. All right, it's gonna be fun. Just getting a bite to eat for breakfast here. Also, I want to mention I started Navionics on my phone, so we're gonna track the whole journey. We'll see exactly how long it takes us, how far we have to go. Let the journey begin. All right, little update. It's we're a little less than an hour in, and I think we're kind of pretty much halfway, maybe a little bit more. I'm not 100% sure, but just want to kind of give you a little snapshot of what we're dealing with out here, what the sights and sounds are. So if you look to the left here, you can see all these huge tankers. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 at least that I can see right here. These things are huge, carrying all the stuff from overseas. I think a lot of it comes from Asia, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Don't quote me on that. But yeah, all you can see, like that one right there, has all those storage unit looking things on there. The GoPro is definitely not doing it justice, but that thing is huge. It's 19 storage units wide. So I don't know how wide each storage unit is, but it's got to be like close to 10 feet, if not more. So it's 200 feet wide by, I don't know how long, maybe 1,000, maybe more, I don't really know. Imagine how much weight is on that thing when all those storage units are full, and to think that it can still not only float, but like go across the entire Pacific Ocean. Quite the vessel. And then just to the right of that, you can see right there, that's San Francisco, all the high rises. That's where we're headed. It's coming into view now a little bit better. A little bit foggy today, so can't see super far. And then to the right of that, you got the Bay Bridge, which connects San Francisco. And then in the middle there, there's a little island, that's Treasure Island. And then the Bay Bridge continues across over to Oakland on this side. So you can see, it might be hard to see on the GoPro, but you can see those big like cranes, or I don't know what they're called, but anyways, those are the machines that take those big storage units off of the tanker ships and then set them down on land over there. We'll complete the 360 here. There I am. So yeah, that's where we're at right now. We're 45 feet of water, 50 feet of water. I don't think I've ever been this deep in the San Francisco Bay, and it's pretty cool. There's little bait fish and stuff jumping around out here. I do want to fish this part. I have no idea what's out there. It might be nothing, but like I said earlier, I'm a little bit crunched on time, so I'm trying to get across as quickly as possible. We'll get to fishing. We'll do a lot more fishing on the way back, and maybe when we get there I might do a little bit on that side of the bay. But yeah, nice day out in the bay. Well, here, let me show you one more thing. If you can see that boat coming across right there, kind of in front of the bridge and in front of Treasure Island, that's a big ferry boat. So there's a bunch of different ferries that run across San Francisco, from San Francisco to Oakland / Alameda, I think. And then I think there's also one that goes into the South Bay. I'm not totally sure. Those boats rip. I mean, they can go across the bay probably in just a few minutes, whereas it's going to take me almost a couple hours. And if you know anything about the Bay Area, especially during commuting hours, the traffic's not that great. So I'm pretty sure a lot of people take those across the bay to avoid some traffic. And yeah, just to text you, I've taken them a few times from the East Bay. I think I caught it in Alameda to catch or to transport over to San Francisco to go watch a Giants game one time. Anyway, that's where we're at for now. As long as nothing else crazy happens, we'll see you on the other side of the bay. Coming up on the western side of the San Francisco Bay, right up to San Francisco here. So first we have Oracle Park over here. You can kind of see it behind this little seawall. That's where the San Francisco Giants play baseball. And then over here is like downtown San Francisco. That's where all the high rises are. And then there's the Bay Bridge I talked about earlier. And without further ado, just to make this official, come up to the seawall here and officially touch down in San Francisco. Gotta touch it. And, oh, not quite. All right, there we go. We made it. All right, now we start the journey back east, all the way to the other side of the bay where we started. So the first goal of making it all the way across San Francisco Bay and then back is halfway done. But I also mentioned earlier that the second goal is to also catch at least one fish out here. So let's start fishing now. I'm gonna slow my speed down. And we're starting trolling here. It's a little deep, but I don't know. I never fished over on this side of the bay, so we'll see what happens. Just troll some frozen herring. If you follow any of my fishing adventures, this is classic bait. We use this all the time out here. that. Go through the back. Give it a little bend. And the reason we give it a little bend like that is because when we're moving through the water, that makes the bait spin. And when it spins, it flashes. A lot easier for these fish to find it. So we're going to be fishing for California halibut here, and those fish lie right on the bottom. So what we're going to do here is drop it all the way to the bottom. Pretty deep here. Well, tried this side of the bay for a little bit, tried trolling around, but it's a little bit too deep. It's 74 feet right here where I am right now. Just a little bit too hard to troll where it's this deep. So I guess you could drift. If I wanted to just drift some frozen herring, I could do that, but I think it's best to keep trolling. So what I'm going to do is just shoot across to the other side of the bay where it's shallower and where it's a lot easier to troll. And then we'll drop our lines back in over there, and that's where I think I have a better chance of catching one. So, alright. Okay, we're on the other side of the bay now. Still a little bit deep, but much better than where we were before. So it's about 40 feet of water right here. Drop it down and start our troll. One other boat trolling to my right here. Sea line coming up on my tail here. Unfortunately for him, don't have any fish at the moment, but hopefully he gives up following me, because I do plan on catching one before the day's over. And I never really know inside the bay. I feel like there's always just like stuff in the water, so I don't know if that's bait or not, but it definitely could be some serious bait balls down there. So if that's the case, there should be some halibut waiting around there. I'll show you where we came from. There's San Francisco over there, and it actually looks kind of far now. I didn't feel like it was that far away, but I think at the narrowest point it's only like a couple miles wide, but where we went across, I think it was like 4 or 5 miles across. Now we're on the east side of the bay. It's a lot shallower over here. And a lot of times these halibut like to come up on these shallow points, just kind of sit around. I don't know if they're waiting for food or if they're starting to spawn. I'm not really sure, but anyways, not only do the fish like to come up here, it's also a lot easier to troll when it's shallower, because if it's super deep, you think about it, your kayak or boat is moving, and so to keep your baits near the bottom, you have to use a good amount of weight to prevent it from just rising up. So the deeper the water is, the more weight you have to use essentially to keep your stuff near the bottom. And I don't like to use a ton of weight. You definitely could use more, but yeah, with what we have here, I'd say anything over 40 feet deep is going to be really tough to stay near the bottom. So yeah, we're in 38 feet of water now. Definitely manageable here. Never fished this area. It's way away from the typical fishing ground, so not sure if there's fish here, but only one way to find out. All right, little update. It's now 1:30. Been trolling on this side for I don't know how long now, at least a couple hours. But obviously haven't found anything yet, not even a bite so far. But yeah, not giving up yet. We're running out of time a little bit. We gotta get back. The tide's gonna change, and I don't want to get stuck out here on the wrong side of the tide to end the day. So we got probably another hour or two left. This boat next to me right here just hooked up. So hopefully there's more fish down there. Maybe the bite's starting to turn on. You guys just got the net out. Not gonna lie, a little frustrating because I've been trolling this boat just pulled up. They dropped in like maybe 5-10 minutes ago and they already got one on, and I've been trolling around here for the last hour. So obviously there's some fish down there. Yeah, they just put a nice keeper in the boat. I just gotta get one for myself now. Parking citation. That's unfortunate for that person. 3:11. I wanted to start heading in by like, really by 3, even earlier if possible, but I really want to stick it out here and try and get one of these fish. The tide is going to turn here pretty soon, and unfortunately it's going to make it harder to get in, but also fortunately somehow I think it's also going to trigger a bite. I kind of explained it in my last video, but the halibut bite is sort of tapering off as we approach these winter months, so that is one reason why this bite is so tough. But I also showed in my last video that you can't catch them still, so there's got to be some out here. Like I said earlier, I saw a boat catch one fairly close to me, and that same boat that I saw catch one is now heading in, so hopefully they left a fish or two for me. We're gonna keep at it here. We're grinding it out. I also didn't mention earlier that I brought a second battery with me today because I'm making such a long run. And I got a feeling that this one that I'm using right now is getting close to the end, so I might have to switch out batteries soon, but just wanted to mention that. I got a second one here as backup. You know, sometimes it pays to be stubborn and sometimes it doesn't. About, I want to say like half a mile away from the harbor. Battery just died. So I could plug in the second battery, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and paddle my way in, get a good workout in, get those arm muscles firing. It's always good to get a good paddle in every once in a while because paddle is what we bring as a backup. So anytime, like if something were to go wrong with the motor, you know, wire connection goes out or something where the motor's unusable. And same thing with a pedal kayak, you know, if your Mirage drive, something goes wrong, you know, you snap a cable or something. You always have this paddle with you as a backup so you don't get stranded out there. But at the same time, it's not very useful. You can't use it. So, in my opinion, it's always good to get a little paddle in every once in a while. And it's been a little while since my last one. I couldn't even remember the last time I broke out the paddle. But anyways, we'll paddle on in. I can get about the same speed with the paddle as I can with the motor. It's a lot more work, obviously. Final stretch. Last 100 feet. Feel the burn, baby. Left, right, left, right. All the way back. Like I said at the beginning of the video, we had 2 goals today. One of them was to catch fish. Unfortunately, couldn't make that happen. That was an unfortunate ending, but the first goal, to go all the way across the bay and all the way back, we made that happen. And I had my Navionics running the whole time, so I'll show you the data. Well, long day. Unfortunately, not only did my kayak battery die, my camera batteries are on their last legs, but also my phone battery died. But I think it was running most of the day. I had it up and running until just now, so it should have most of the data. So I'll get this back up and running and charging when we're in the car. And once it's back on, we'll pull it up and see exactly how far we went. Whew. Long day out there. I was gonna do this yesterday, but I literally got home, cleaned up my fishing stuff, the kayak stuff, and I just had no energy. So here we are. So I think the Navionics cut out right as I was switching from the battery power to just manual oaring. So we lost about maybe a mile or probably a little bit less at the very end there. But in total, We started at 8:56 a.m. My phone died at 4:42 p.m. I think we got back to shore around 5:30 or so. So 8.5 hour journey, and we covered, we went at average speed of 1.6 knots, which is pretty similar to miles per hour. And we covered 12.8 nautical miles, which is also pretty much the same thing as regular miles. I think it's a little bit under. So like in terms of regular miles, we probably went about 13 or 14 if we if we convert from nautical miles to miles and then add on that short little distance we covered at the very end. So quite the journey. I mean, pretty much all on one battery. We went about 13 miles, which is pretty good range for this little 100 amp, 12 volt battery. And some of that was with the tide. So if it was just a flat, if we're just traveling on a lake with no wind, we might not get quite that distance. But I think it's pretty safe to say we can get 10 miles pretty comfortably on one battery. So yeah, it was quite the journey. It was a fun trip, even though I wasn't able to catch anything. It was still quite the journey. Got to see a good portion of the bay. And if you guys are interested in this, if you like this video, let me know. Maybe I'll do it again. And I promise you, if I do it again, I will confirm and catch a fish before the day's over. So anyways, thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this little bit of a different style video. We'll see you on the next one. Later.